Hey, this looks like a great question. Gym members are asked to fill out a questionnaire to rate the quality of service. They're asking a rating of 1 to 6. The ratings of 5 members are shown below. Okay, so there's 5 people. Someone said 1, someone said 4, 2 people said 6, one person said 3. In the simplest form, the standard deviation of these ratings can be written as this. Find the values of A and B. Okay, people see this and they think, whoa. But no, forget that. Standard deviation, and we've got 5 data points. Okay, that is not tricky. That's a gift. We've already been given a few marks on statistics, and now we've been given even more. Okay, so the first thing I would do, like I said before, write these from smallest to largest. Largest. I've got 1, 3, 4, 6, and 6. 1, 3, 4, 6, 6. Okay, so n is equal to 5. I've got 5 points of data. If you're interested, there's the median in the middle, which is 4. The range is 6 minus 1, which is 5. Okay. Q3 would be 6. Q3 would be 6, and Q1 would be 2, which would be between 1 and 3. Okay. So yeah, we don't need to write that though. I'm just chatting. Okay, so that's our number. Oh, I would always write it out from lowest to highest when I do a standard deviation, but I just thought I would chat through some of those numbers. When you do standard deviation, what the first thing you need to do is work out the mean. Okay, so I need to work out what's called x bar. Okay, which is the sum of the x's divided by n. Okay, so the mean. So 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 6 is 14, plus 6 is 20. So 20 divided by 5, which is 4. So it's interesting, the mean here is actually the same as the median. So the middle number is the same as the arithmetic kind of mean, as I call it. Okay. So we've got our x bar value. The next thing I want to do is our little table. So I write down all my x numbers. So I've got 1, 3, in fact I'll get a bit more space for this. Tiny bit up. Just a little bit more space, sorry. I've got 1, 3, 4, 6, and 6. And this is just every time you see standard deviation, this is what should be going through your head. Okay? So I know what my x is. I've just worked out my x bar, that's the first point. And the next bit, I'm going to do x minus x bar. Okay, because we're looking at our equation for standard deviation, which is at the very front of your sheet. And we're going to be doing the sum of the x minus x bars squared divided by n minus 1 square root. Okay, so that's given to you at the very front of the equation, at the very front of the workbook. And if you want, feel free to write that down here. I probably should have just written that first actually, but I quite like I kind of know how to just work through it. But sorry, maybe you should just write that just to kind of get your mind thinking. Okay, so I worked out x bar first, yeah, and now what I'm going to do is work through the rest of this top equation. So x minus x bar, what does that mean? It's just a number minus the mean. So 1 minus 4 minus 3, 3 minus 4 minus 1. Now, what I'd like to point out here is, if you do it in a nice order the way I've done it from lowest to highest, you can see x is lowest to highest, so the x minus x bars follow a nice pattern. They go negative, 0, positive. Okay, so right away I can spot a mistake. The other way I can spot a mistake is if this column does not sum to 0. Okay, so we've got minus 3 and minus 1 is 4, 2 and 2 is plus 4, so 0. So right away I'm thinking I've done this right. Okay. Next bit in the table, x minus x bar all squared. Which again, you would look at this equation and think, well, that's really complicated, but it's not, is it? It's, very simple, just step by step, doing all your processes. Okay, so x minus x bar squared is just saying, well, minus 3 squared, so 9. So first of all, it's squared, so nothing should be negative in this column. Okay, and 1 squared or negative 1 squared is always 1. Okay, although that does look like an upside down 7, so I'll just put 1. Okay, it's not 2, it's 1. 0, 4, and 4. And then we sum up this column. So that's 10 and 18. Okay, so this 18 is the sum of the x minus x bar squared. Okay, how easy was that? Okay, brilliant. Marks in the bag. So the standard deviation is equal to 18 divided by n minus 1, which is going to give us 4, square root. Okay. So if you get to this point, I'd be thinking that's pretty good. Must be most of the marks in the bag by now. Definitely 2, maybe 3. But we need to get it into this term, the a root b over 2. Okay. So the tricky bit here is understanding how we can break down this root 18 over root 4. Now that is actually the same as saying root 18 divided by root 4. Okay, that's one of our rules for surds. Okay, now that's probably the only real tough bit, is remembering that. Okay, so as you remember that, suddenly you've got root 18 divided by 2, because you know root 4 is 2. Okay, and then root 18, how can we break that up? Okay, well, I'm thinking for our factors of 18. So factors of 18 would be, 18 times 1, 9 times 2. Anything else? 6 and 3. Yeah. So, okay, what if we were to do root 6, root 3? That's not going to work, is it? Because one of those doesn't cancel. Root 6, root 3 doesn't cancel down to give us a whole number and a root number. Same with root 18, root 1, we're not any better off with that. So that only really leaves us root 9 and root 2. Ah, and what is root 9? That's 3, isn't it? So root 9 root 2 over 2, root 9 becomes 3 root 2 over 2. And then just to finish off, I would probably write, so it's a is the first one, so a is equal to 3, and b is equal to 2. Okay, not root 2, but 2, because it's already inside the root, isn't it? Okay, so overall, I'd say that's actually not that difficult a question. But I think that small step with the root over the 18 and 4 might have thrown people in the heat of the moment. Okay, but don't get upset or don't get stressed out when you see a question like this that's got something kind of different in it. All right. The fact is, it's still a standard deviation question. You could always have come back to this point if you got to and thought, don't know, come back to it later on. All right. So let's just see what the marking scheme had to say. So find an x bar. That's a mark. Pardon me. X bar. So for finding x minus x bar squared. So all of this is worth a mark as well. You're not even summing it, but just working out that point in your table is worth a mark. Oh, getting to root 18 over 4, that is worth a mark as well. That's fantastic. So look at that, 3 out of 4, 75% for not even really thinking about the challenging bit of the question, which is this bit at the end, I think. Okay, so actually your surd work at the end is only worth 1 extra mark. How fantastic is that? So when you see standard deviation, feel happy. It's a great question to get. Okay. I don't think I've got time for this question. I'll put this in a different video. So yeah, good stuff on that.